Thanks for watching RocketJump Film School. Oh, I'm just fake. I'm not even real! My name is Ben Bayouth. I am a puppet builder, fabricator, and created Blark And Son.
Get out!
Love you too!
Puppeteering.
You'll never know. Puppeteering.
I'm Adam Azraf. I am a writer, producer, director. I am the EP of Blark And Son.
No, you're a mosaic.
What?
You heard me! Stoopid Buddy Stoodios is most well known for creating the show Robot Chicken and Super Mansion. Yeah, chicken! I am the creative director of a division at Stoopid Buddy Stoodios called Buddy Builds, and we make all kinds of large-scale props and costumes and puppets and walk-around creatures and effects for TV and film.
Well, it started as a drawing.
Yeah, Blark and Son started as a drawing. For some reason, I don't know why the words Blark and Son popped into my head for the name Blark. It's just
Both
like the most
of them are
hard...
not real names.
They're not
Blark
real
is
names.
not a real name, and if you call your son Son, then you're just, there's something wrong there.
There's something wrong, yeah.
No. That's what's funny about it.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that drawing and immediately being like, I know these guys.
Yeah. Blark is like this older father who had a kid a little late in life, who is desperately trying to connect with his son, who is reaching the age where he wants some space from his dad and is now glued to his computer and kind of the information generation. Hey son, what's cracking?
Not now, Dad. I am in the middle of a live stream.
I was in the middle of a live stream once.
Grubbins.
Thinking about Blark and Son, I never considered making it not puppets. As much of this whole process with Blark and Son has been collaborative, I brought my good friend Jake Korick in to sculpt Son, and I sculpted Blark. So going off of their character traits, we kind of just jumped off, and I had done a couple drawings before too, and I was like, these drawings are great, but I think we're going to really find the characters in the sculpture. The puppets, after they are sculpted in a clay called wed clay, which is a water-based clay, and then you make a stone mold. This is a stone mold, not for Blark and Son, but for another project, but just so you guys can kind of see how it works. There's a negative copy in here of some small puppet legs. And there's two halves so that we can easily pull the copy of what we're gonna make the legs out of these without it getting stuck. This is the core for Blark, actually. When I take all the clay out of my mold, I can stick the core back into the mold and put it together. And now, this core will float perfectly inside of my mold and leave a space around it so that when I pour silicone into the mold, it'll flow in there and leave this as a negative space for my hand to occupy later. So after you have your silicone cast in your molds, pop the mold open, you're gonna have a fresh, raw silicone casting, and there'll be a little bit of flashing, is what it's called, on the edge of your mold, which is the small amount of silicone that attempted to escape the mold through the flange, which is where the mold comes together. And that needs to be snipped off and then seamed.
This is, of course, a very early version of Blark, just pulled out of the mold.
After your puppets are cast in silicone and seamed up, then you begin the painting process. And I painted Blark. One of my very good friends, Mason Traeger, paints Son. After the puppets are painted, they're still missing a few elements. You need to add hair, teeth, and eyes, and clothes.
Dad! Stop!
The teeth were a very simple thing. I think I even just went on Amazon and bought some dentures. And then I made a mold of those with silicone and glued them in. The first time I put the teeth in, there's just way too much of them. They were like kind of chattery and weird looking, and I did a test with them, and he couldn't close his mouth like that to look around.
I can remember it as if it was yesterday.
It was just a little bit awkward. I realized I had to take them out. I had cut a lot of the teeth away. You know, there's this area of teeth that's actually here is a thin strip of what was a much bigger part of that denture. Cut it away and then re-glued it so that I could then make the teeth meet. And that's important because when you're puppeteering, you want to see the teeth going S noises and then P for plosive noises and all kinds of things like that. Once we put them in their outfits, they kind of just existed, and then we had characters that we could literally look at that were visualized to really begin to write the show around.
The writing process was really interesting because we knew we were doing an Instagram show, which is just so different. It's never been done before.
Yeah. The way we kind of went about it was we said, okay, day number 1, let's get 6 people in a room and let's fill up a wall of whiteboard with ideas.
We got 100 ideas now.
We had 100 ideas. Yeah, we had a few that we had like, okay, this is kind of what they could be, but I don't think many of those survived. Day number 2, just Adam and I regroup from that and pick out all the best stuff and put it together. Day number 3, bring back 2 of our writers.
Hunter and Dylan.
Yep.
And then got more ideas. And Thursday, Friday, we were just producing next week while Hunter, Dylan, and I basically, and you were typing out the actual episodes because we had to deliver to Stoopid Buddy. And because the schedule was so tight, by halfway through the week, we were already thinking about the next week.
Recording was a lot of fun. Very excited today. We're doing recording. It'll be our 3rd day of recording. We got Chris Mintz-Plasse doing the voice of Son. I'll be doing Blark.
Ah! What? What? Why? Dad, why would he do that?
We didn't find out that Chris was actually going to be able to fill the role of Son until a week before the records. We had already written the episodes, and it started to really make that character feel real in our heads because we knew what he was going to bring to it.
It's just flippy pages says Son jerks off.
I heard someone was feeling kind of boopy.
Dad, please stop. I am not 5.
We only have a minute that we can have an episode be. So if something was working, we were just like, all right, take away whatever these 3 lines. If it's not pushing story, if it's not a funny enough joke, then just kill it.
I think you cut the, I think you cut, yeah, and then I think you just go, Dad,
Yeah.
I love you. You know?
Yeah, just make that moment. That's what I think. What do you think?
He just like nods kind of.
Yeah.
Dad, I love you. Which is saying yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
And then you're just like, I love you too.
Just all kinds of crazy.
Just yelling in the show. Yeah. Just like straight yelling.
You know, your vocal cords are scratching all the time, and it became a strain to be able to do that voice and yell and scream like we were. And Son has episodes where he screams, and so we had to be smart about the way that we planned what episodes we recorded when in the booth.
Yeah! The Japanese gardener, he ripped my eyes out!
Oh, sorry, one more time? Read me one more time?
No. In order for the vocal performance and the puppeteering performance to be as good as I want it to be, I'm going to have to do them separately. During our initial tests, we did tests where I would record the dialogue and puppeteer at the same time, and it's possible, and I can do it.
Dad! Can you just get out?
Sorry, I just wanted to, I just wanted to say that I love you.
Although it does work, and we did it successfully, it doesn't allow for the performer to really give a nuanced performance and not have to worry about so much at one time. You know, I don't have to keep all the emotion of the dialogue and the cadence in the front of my head, as well as the position of my arm and this and that and all these things that normally you would have to definitely keep in mind when puppeteering if you're voicing the character as well.
But that camera test has done a lot of
Not
work
meant
for us.
to, not meant to be seen by everybody. It was just for us, and then it became what sold the show. So, typically, a puppet is made to be as easy as possible to puppeteer and perform. Blark and Son are not. They're silicone and they're heavy and it's difficult. And I knew that going into it, but I knew that because of the way they were made, I could get a unique performance out of them.
Good morning, son.
What do you want, Dad?
Do you know what today is?
So when puppeteering, there's just so much you have to keep in mind. When you're holding the puppet, you want to have your own posture that feels comfortable to you so that you can actually perform and be comfortable doing that. You want to see your performance. We have another monitor that'll be for puppeteering. And basically see exactly with the monitor right in front of you what you're going to be doing.
I told you, stupid bastards, we need a tank.
Again.
I told you, stupid bastards, we need a tank.
That was really good. And maintaining a height. The puppets don't have legs, so there's not like a set height of how tall or how short they are. And so in Son's room, I built a little 2x4 that he could always like rest his stomach on, which helped me just hit the same point every time. When it came to puppeteering, it's just the head. And so how much can you do with that? How much can you push that performance? Can you like swing his head back and forth like he's cocky or something? We used the door frame. Blark plays around all the time. He's sitting on the door this way, he's over here, and it helps like really convey emotion without just being a static guy talking there.
The eyes too.
Oh yeah.
The Japanese gardener, he ripped my eyes out! Ah!
It might seem a little morbid and weird, but you can actually reach in and pick out their eyes like that. And because of that, you can position them, you know? So I can position Son's eye to be looking left or right or up or down, and that helped them really emote. You know, Blark can look angry when he looks through his eyeballs. He can look really concerned when he's looking through his cheeks. We actually, between multiple takes, were just going in there and digging into their eyeballs, moving it around.
And it makes such a difference. You'd be so surprised, at least for me, having only directed puppets one other time before, how much emotion that really gave us.
Yeah.
Son, I found my old magic 8-ball in the attic. Ask it a question.
You know, it's difficult when two puppeteers have to perform one character because they both have to understand what each other are doing.
Magic 8-ball in the attic. Ask it a question. Son, I found my old magic 8-ball in the attic. Ask it a question.
I don't think you use the other hand. I think you just, you know, it's like singing a duet. You really have to be working in tandem with each other. So we would first figure out the blocking of the line, what would happen.
Do this on Tisha Dolo Haku.
Yeah,
And then give me space on Serpent's Kiss and then that hand. Okay? Try it again.
War 3, or as the indigenous Zulu call it, Tisha Dolo Haku.
Okay, I can get that.
Or if it's like this, like almost like blowing a kiss.
Tisha Dolo Haku.
A little higher with that.
A little higher with
Higher with the
the
kiss.
kiss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you have all these things figured out, you can kind of do this quick choreographed performance and just kind of like nail it and move on to the next one. So each little shot becomes its own job.
Or as the indigenous Zulu call it, Tisha Dolo Haku. The serpent's kiss.
That was really good.
I love it. It's so arbitrary. It's like, what does that mean?
All right, let's do the next part.
Great, next part. Thank you guys so much for watching this video about how we created the characters Blark and Son.
Next video, we will be talking about creating the sets and the world of Blark and Son, how that all came together.
See you next time.
Rock and roll, dude.
The tiniest little rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Now go make some movies and get out there.